Scientists have discovered that piranhas make a noise similar to a bark. The intrepid researchers recorded the sounds emitted by small groups of red-bellied piranhas in aquariums, discovering that they produce three combat sounds. The first occurs when two rivals face each other and is similar to a bark of a small species. When they compete, they make another sound, and the last one is used to scare other fish away from their prey and is generated by grinding their teeth. The team found that the fish were generally silent. In 1905, an 11-year-old boy named Frank Epperson accidentally left a cup of a drink made with powdered flavoring and water outside overnight. The next morning, Frank saw the mixture frozen, so he enjoyed the ice by holding it by the wooden stick. Thus, the popsicle was born. He then sold his invention, which he called Epsicle, in his neighborhood, and it did so well that he patented it in 1924 under the name Popsicle, which was finally bought by Unilever, a giant food corporation, in 1989. We yawn when we are tired, but also when we wake up after resting all night. We do it when we are bored, anxious, hungry, or nervous about trying something new. But the curious thing is that yawning is contagious. Whether we see someone near us yawn or in a photo, and even if we see an animal yawning, it spreads to us. However, the physiological reason why we yawn remains a mystery, according to experts. Although seahorses may seem like strange creatures, they are actually fish and close relatives of tuna and trout. If you could stretch a seahorse and lay it on its side, it would be much easier to see that it has physical traits similar to other fish. The seahorse belongs to the class of bony fish, which includes salmon and swordfish. The blue whale can produce up to 200 liters of waste in each evacuation, but it is vital for marine life as it helps produce algae, the food for many small marine species. The longest bamboo bridge in the world is over 1 kilometer long and spans the waters of the Mekong River in Cambodia, but it has a unique characteristic. Locals build it annually during the dry season. However, just before the rainy season from May to November, they dismantle it and store all the bamboo, as the strong currents of the Mekong are too powerful for the bridge to survive. The continuous construction and dismantling of this historic bridge have occurred every year for decades, and it is not only a path for tourists and locals, but also strong enough to support heavy vehicles. Welcome to Las Vegas is the most famous sign in the world, created in 1959 by Betty Willis and Ted Rogich. This is officially the eco-friendly sign of Las Vegas, as Las Vegas is one of the sunniest places on the planet, and the city authorities use solar energy to illuminate the most representative sign of the United States globally. The platypus is, for several reasons, one of the strangest creatures on the planet, but now scientists have discovered that they have fluorescent fur. The skin of the platypus shows a bluish-green glow when illuminated with ultraviolet light, a spectrum of light that is not visible to the human eye. In South Korea, being a tattoo artist is illegal unless you are a doctor. Those who have this passion in their blood have to decide whether to continue tattooing or stop to avoid going to jail. This is because, since 2001, the Supreme Court of Korea decided that only doctors could perform tattoos, as they are considered medical procedures. What happens if someone is discovered? They could face a financial penalty or spend 20 years in prison. Riding a bicycle is a very cheap and healthy way to get around, but a steep hill can become the Achilles heel of any occasional cyclist. Therefore, in the city of Trondheim, Norway, they have the solution to this problem: an escalator for cyclists called cyclocable. Bicycles put one foot on the platform, and they are pushed upward at a speed of about 3 kilometers per hour. Biologists have discovered that whale sharks have teeth in their eyes. Is that so? These mysterious fish have small, scale-like teeth that protect their eyeballs. This is one of the strangest things not seen in any other vertebrate. The teeth, called dermal denticles, are scales that serve as armor, but they also allow them to swim faster. Smart people find it very difficult to find a partner. According to a study conducted by the University of Western Australia, intelligence makes us see people as more attractive up to a certain point. But it turns out that if the IQ is well above average, smart people start losing points in the eyes of potential partners. Apparently, they perceive them as less attractive because they believe they cannot relate to them or that they could be judged at all times. It is believed that koalas do not need to drink water because they obtain it from eucalyptus leaves, the main part of their diet, but it is now known that koalas lick the water that drips from the tree trunks to hydrate themselves. Koalas have been seen drinking for 15 to even 34 uninterrupted minutes, maintaining a rhythm of 2 licks per second in the case of a male koala that was studied. Scientists have observed this behavior in various climates over the past 10 years. It is quite common to experience a strange burning or tingling sensation in the tongue when eating pineapple. This is due to the bromelain contained in the fruit, which upon contact with the sensitive skin inside and around people's mouths, breaks down proteins, causing pain and inflammation of the tissue. Bromelain is so potent that it is actually used in the market to tenderize meat. But don't worry, the enzymes are not harmful to humans. The ancient Roman calendar had only 10 months and began in March and ended in December. Although today we see traits of that old system in our modern calendar, for example, December, the 10th month, owes its name to the number 10, which in Latin is decem, just as September was named for 7, septem. This ancient Roman calendar is said to have been used since 750 BC until in 46 BC, Emperor Julius Caesar decreed that the year would begin on January 1st, a day dedicated to the god of beginnings, Janus, and March was decreed as the month when work on the fields would resume. In November 2021, Croatian Budimir Budasova, 54 years old, became the man who held his breath underwater the longest in the world, with a total of 24 minutes and 33 seconds, surpassing his previous mark and that of Catalan Alex Segura, who in 2016 held his breath for 24 minutes and 3 seconds. The yellow arches of McDonald's are perhaps the most characteristic feature of the famous fast food chain. However, there is a corner of the planet where the emblem appears in a pale blue color. In the town of Sedona, Arizona, is the only McDonald's in the world where the brand's logo is a different color. But why the change in this peculiar establishment? It is actually all due to an issue of landscape aesthetics, as the city is surrounded by red mountains. Pink was not always the color for girls, and blue the color for boys. In fact, for a long time, boys were dressed in pink while blue was preferred for girls. In the early 20th century, some stores began suggesting colors to identify a particular gender, and their reasoning was that pink, which is a bolder and stronger color, was more suitable for boys, while blue, being more delicate, was prettier for girls. It is clear that over the years, this trend has changed, and now no color is associated with the gender of a person. There is an insect that can freeze in the winter and thaw in the spring, and it is the weta. Native to New Zealand, it can withstand the freezing of its tissues by 80% in winter, and when spring arrives, it thaws and continues its daily activities. Once they reach adulthood, wetas can survive temperatures as low as -10 degrees Celsius while being capable of entering a state of cryptobiosis. Apart from being delicious, popcorn is very nutritious as it contains fiber that helps reduce high levels of both cholesterol and triglycerides and removes excess fat present in our blood vessels and arteries. Additionally, popcorn contains more antioxidants than we might think, which benefit our cardiovascular system. Jonathan, the oldest tortoise in history, is the most famous resident of St. Helena, an island in the South Atlantic between Brazil and Angola. This giant Seychelles tortoise arrived on the island in 1882, when it was around 50 years old. It was a gift to Sir William Grey Wilson, who later became governor. This has been its home for 140 years, and it has seen 31 governors pass by. In 2023, the tortoise celebrated its 191st birthday, making it the longest living terrestrial animal in the world.